Hello, I'm recording this on December 11th, 2024, and that means two things. Oh, you don't have to get me anything. Cash is fine. And it's time for the Darkness News Update brought to you by Evluma and their line of dark sky friendly fixtures and lamps. Take a look at them. They've got two different heights of poles. You can build your own acorn, and you can get the Omni Max lamp, which is a fantastic device. All of these are customizable for color temperature. They all come with shielding options, so you can limit backlight if you need to. You can limit uplight if you need to. And you can also get them set up for controls for timing and dimming, which are all keys to better lighting at night. Let's get into the news. Alan has been linked with an insomnia, but this is a really interesting study. This was from China, and they were able to link complaints about insomnia on the social network Weibo with changes in lighting taken from satellite photos, which meant that they were able to track that every time an area got 5 nanowatts per centimeter square per steradian, which is nanowatts is a measure of the amount of light hitting the ground, and then the steradian is all over a curved surface. That's how you measure light hitting a curved surface like the Earth. They found that as that brightness ticked up just ever so slightly, complaints about insomnia from that same area would tick up by about 0.4%, 0.2%, really. And that's an interesting way to do that, especially because it relies on completely honest, spontaneous disclosures as opposed to like a formal survey. A study from India has actually linked insomnia with visual impairment, finding that people who report chronic or frequent insomnia would also eventually develop visual impairments or cataracts. More details on that need to be discussed, but I think it's interesting to talk about how, exercising your eyes by being up at night, even if you're in the dark, can hurt your eyes. On November 26th, the European Southern Observatory stakeholders all met in Santiago, Chile, talk about protecting dark skies. Now, this is in northern Chile, home to the ESO, which is a huge group of observatories, both radio telescopes and optical telescopes. And Chile passed an amazingly sweeping Dark Sky Protection Act for that area of the desert. And they're still meeting about making sure that they can work on this even further and improve conditions for this area. In Portugal, Dark Sky Alqueva, hope I'm pronouncing that right, just won a Responsible Tourism Award. This is from the World Travel Awards, and they have been recognized for their work in sustainability and environmental protection. Thousand Hills State Park in Missouri is recognized by Dark Sky International as an urban night sky place. The park's outdoor lighting is actually only 78% compliant. It'll be 100 by the end of 2025, but Dark Sky's going to give them the sticker now on the promise of good behavior. Antelope, Oregon is the state's first DSI-Recognized community. They've already got a number of parks and reserves in the area, but Antelope is home to 47 people, and they took 16 months to distribute light bulbs, switch out publicly owned fixtures, and they got there. On Okinawa, Kunigami Park will be pursuing recognition as a dark sky preserve. That'd be the fourth dark sky area in Japan. Liberty Hill, Texas is formally applying for recognition from DSI. This is after a series of town meetings that have been going on for a long time, getting everyone on board. Business owners were reluctant, but they're going to move ahead and try to get that recognition. Southampton, New York, already recognized by Dark Sky International, has actually expanded their lighting regulations. Before, they allowed lamps at 3,000 Kelvin, and now they're expanding that to reduce those even further, 2,700 Kelvin max. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, has added light trespass rules to their code. Their code, not their cold. I have a cold, I'm sorry. And while they have limited exterior lighting in 2019, the city now is requiring full cutoff from non-residential fixtures. In Malaysia, the Johor Zoo is planning night safari options, specifically by installing lighting that aims to be animal-friendly. A new revamp at Walt Disney World includes light pollution limiting poles. If you're on Hollywood Boulevard near the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, quite fittingly, You can see that the new poles have great cutoff and low CCT. In Galloway Forest Park, Scotland, they're adding an observatory. This is already recognized as Dark Sky Park, but they will be spending £200,000 to put in a telescope. Also in the UK, perhaps worse news, is that locals are protesting the possibility of adding uplight to a 180-year-old oak tree in Crewkerne in the UK. Specifically, they're planning on 150-watt equivalent LEDs, and the locals are reacting quite strongly to that idea. I've already posted this on our LinkedIn, which you should be following, and the comments there are also very strong. And lastly, in Oxfordshire in the UK, the school district will be adding 12 floodlights on poles to cover their cricket field and their parking lot. They've been trying to do this since 2018, and the locals finally lost out in their objections, and so those lights will be going up. Can't all be good news, but you know what is good news? Evluma bringing you better fixtures, better lamps. Visit the link in the description. I've been Scott Wachter. I want to thank you for your time and attention. 50-50 on me being back on Boxing Day for the last episode of the year. But either way, if I don't see you then, I'll see you in the new year. Have a good one.